Hello everyone, this is Pooja and today we are going to discuss a very important topic from environment and ecology, that is coral reefs and coral bleaching. What is coral reefs? Coral reefs are underwater structures. They are formed underwater and they are composed of the skeletons of the marine invertebrates which are called as corals. Each individual corals, they are referred to as polyps. These polyps, they live on the calcium carbonate exoskeleton of their ancestors, and in this way they build up a reef. The polyps, they are what they do, they draw the calcium from the seawater and they solidified it into a hard mineral which is called calcium carbonate, and it serves as their skeletal support. Now let's discuss the features of the coral reefs. These polyps, they exist in the symbiotic relationship with a microscopic algae which is called as zooxanthellae. So in this relationship, what they do, the coral polyps, which is an animal, it provides a home for the algae, and in return, the algae through photosynthesis, it prepares food and provide food to the coral polyps. The algae, this is very important. Coral polyps are actually transparent. They don't have their own color. The coral is because of the algae. The algae provides color to the coral reefs. This coral system, this whole coral system, they are referred to as rainforest of the seas because they form one of the most diverse ecosystem. Mostly these coral reefs, they are mostly found at shallow depths in tropical waters. But so this is important. They are formed at shallow depths in tropical waters, but some corals, they are found in deep waters in the cold waters, and but they exist in a very small scale. So now we will discuss the classification of coral reefs. There are three types of reefs. One is fringing reef, other is the barrier reef, and third is the atoll reef. You can see in the diagram also. Fringing reef. What is fringing reef? Reef which is formed directly attached to a shore or borders is called fringing reef. Here you can see in this diagram, blue portion is ocean and in between there is an island, and just surrounding the island is the fringing reef. Second is the barrier reef. The second picture, you can see the barrier reefs, they are separated from the mainland or island by a lagoon. So they form lagoon in between, and this is called barrier reef. Next stage is atoll. Atoll is more or less circular and they extends all the way around the lagoon, and over a period of time what happens, the island, it erodes away and it sinks below the sea level and only lagoon is left. So this is called atoll reef. Now we will look at the ideal conditions for the coral growth. In the earlier slides, we have seen that coral reefs, they are mostly found on the tropical waters, in the shallow waters of the tropical regions. Some coral reefs are also found in the deep oceans, cold water region, but mostly shallow waters of tropical region they are found. The ideal conditions, if we look at the ideal condition, the number one is the sunlight. Why? Because these corals, we have seen that they depend on the zooxanthellae. There exists a symbiotic relationship between the algae zooxanthellae and the corals, and since these are the algae, they do photosynthesis to produce their food. So sunlight is very important for the survival of zooxanthellae and hence also for the survival of coral polyps. Second is the clear water, because clear water will allow the sunlight to penetrate. Third is warm water temperature. The reef building corals, those corals which build the reef, they require warm water for their survival. And if we talk about in terms of Celsius, so 20 to 32 degrees Celsius is ideal temperature for them. Next is the clean water. These corals are very sensitive to pollution and sediments because the sediments, they can block the sunlight and they can harm the polyps. Last is the salt water. So corals need salt water for their survivals, and because of this they cannot live where fresh water is coming from the rivers. For example, these are the estuaries. These are called as estuaries. So they cannot live in those areas. They need saline water. As we have seen the necessary conditions for the survival and growth of coral polyps. So here you can see the distribution of coral reefs. They are mostly distributed to the 30-degree north and south of the equator. So you can see in this world map, they are in the tropical regions, 30 to 30 degree north and south of the equator. Now we will look at why coral reefs are so important for us. What functions do coral reefs serve for us? They provide habitat and feeding ground for the aquatic species, and therefore they are very important for the aquatic ecosystem and the whole ecosystem in general. They also provide food for those people who are living near coral reefs and on small islands. So they are source of food for them. Recreational and tourism opportunities they also provide, and it is a source for the local economies. And protection of coastal infrastructure, this is very important. The coral reefs they protect the coastal infrastructure from natural calamities like storms, tsunamis, floods, and erosion. And nowadays they are also becoming a source of new medicines which we can use to treat many diseases and health problems. Now we will discuss some of the threats which coral reefs are facing. This can be categorized into two categories: anthropogenic events and the natural events. Anthropogenic events include overexploitation of the resources, overfishing, increased sedimentation, and nutrient overloading, which is causing damage to the coral polyps. Natural events include violent storms, flooding, extremes of high and low temperature, El Nino, and subaerial explosions, predatory outbreaks, and epizootics. And because of these threats, we are seeing a new phenomenon which is called coral reef bleaching. So, what is coral reef bleaching? It is a stress response mechanism of corals to the many disturbance which they are facing. So, what is coral bleaching? Coral bleaching occurs when the densities of zooxanthellae, which is an algae, they decline, or when the concentration of the photosynthetic pigments within the zooxanthellae fall. So in the earlier slides, we have discussed that the color of the coral polyps is because of the color provided by this zooxanthellae. So when they decline, zooxanthellae dies out, or when their population declines, the coral polyps fade away, and that is why it is known as coral bleaching. If this stress which is causing the bleaching, it is not too severe, and if the stress decreases in future, then the algae and the zooxanthellae algae and the corals they again regain their symbiotic relationship and they can survive. But if the stress is prolonged over a period of time, then this depleted zooxanthellae population they will not recover, and the coral host eventually dies. Now we will look at the causes of coral bleaching. We will discuss here the ecological causes of coral bleaching. Number one is temperature. We have seen in the earlier slides that a minimum temperature range is required, which is 20 to 32 degrees Celsius, and within this range, coral reefs they survive and grow. If temperature is disturbed, if sudden increase in temperature or sudden decrease in temperature, they can destroy the coral reefs. Next is subaerial exposure. Sometimes these coral reefs they get exposed to the atmosphere. This can happen in the event of extreme low tides or sudden tectonic upliftment of the land. Next is freshwater dilution. So we have discussed that a certain amount of salinity is required for the coral reefs, and if this is disturbed, then coral bleaching occurs. Next is inorganic nutrients. Increased amount of inorganic nutrients, they disturb the symbiotic relationship between zooxanthellae, which is algae, and the coral polyps. So this is also a cause for the coral bleaching. Xenobiotics. What is xenobiotics? These are the chemical contaminants like copper, herbicides, and oil. They also disturb the symbiotic relationship between the algae and the coral polyps. Next is epizootics. These are pathogen induced, so some pathogens also they are also responsible for the coral bleaching.